Now that the race is over, you go on down to the pits and look around. I've had all I want of this track for 1 year. You fans at the winner's circle are looking at the only fellas got reason to smile. The rest of us drivers were beat, and beat bad. We want to win the Southern 500 at Darlington more than any other race on the NASCAR circuit. Guess that's why it hurts so much to lose. What's it take to win here? That's a long story. Now that the race is over, I'll tell you what this tough old track's taught me. First off, be ready. Get here a week before race day and bring a race car that can run. Then go to work and make her run better. A first-class racing stock car costs maybe $15,000 in parts and labor. When the car's ready, you need a driver who knows his way around the trickiest superspeedway there is. Darlington's the toughest track we run. The difference between a good driver and a great one is maybe half a second a lap. You can't pick up a half a second with bravery. We're already so brave, we're darn near scared to death. While you're running your heart out, the best professional drivers in the business are looking you over. The man with the watches is Fred Lorenzen, retired race driver who's working with the Ford team. With Fred is Darrell Derringer, last year's winner. Another Ford's handled by Cale Yarborough, one of the hardest chargers in the business. Dick Hutcherson, smooth and fast, has himself a factory Ford. Same goes for Dave Pearson. Dave is NASCAR's defending champion. That's all you have to know about his style of driving. Leroy Yarborough, fast and fearless, is driving a factory Mercury set up by mechanic Bud Moore. Buddy Baker, son of three-time winner Buck Baker, drives a factory Dodge. Same goes for Sam McQuagg, who can race with the best of them. All of them and all of us are chasing one man and one car. Richard Petty and his Plymouth. Petty's won more races in one season than any other driver in NASCAR history. 20 so far this year, and more races in his lifetime than anybody. 67 Grand Nationals. Now, whose record did he beat? His daddy's. Where did he break that record? Right here at Darlington in the Rebel 400 last spring. No wonder you folks turn out to watch qualification. It's only 4 laps against the electric timer. But if you want to start the race near the front, you better go fast today. Richard's on his qualifying run. And there goes the track record. Petty turns one lap at 144 miles an hour. His 4-lap average is 143.4. On this track, that's practically flying. Sweetheart, it hurts our ears worse than it does yours. We're shuffling engines like a deck of cards looking for more speed. You can't go first class anymore without a spare engine or two. When you twist more than 7,000 revolutions a minute out of one of these little darlings, just about anything's likely to come apart. Derringer's Ford tears up 3 engines before they get her qualified. Trouble is, While the mechanics are sweating to get more speed and performance, Maurice Petty, Richard's brother and chief mechanic, isn't sitting still. He's going through the car right down to the last bolt, making sure everything's right. You know what worries us most? When other mechanics got time to do nothing. They must be awful ready. Race morning's cool and cloudy. The tires last longer when the track's cold, and the engines run stronger. It's likely to be a fast 500, and there's some 65,000 folks to see it. Some of the fans have been here through the night and do their housekeeping open-air style. Race fans are a bunch of folks like nothing else in the world. That's a fact. Cars are on the starting line. We're just about ready to go. There's the front row drivers, Buddy Baker and Richard Petty, both famous sons of famous racing fathers. Stock car driving's moved into the second generation. Only one man in the starting field was in the first Southern 500. Jim Pascal. He's been in all 18 of them. They're clearing the track. Drivers are stepping into their cars. We go in through the windows. The doors are welded shut. 44 cars are waiting to roll. The fastest bunch of stock cars in Darlington's history. They're almost 60 miles an hour faster than they were in the first Southern 500. There's no question that your family car is a good deal stronger, faster, and safer because of what's been learned on tracks like Darlington. Right about now, the butterflies in your stomach get as big as pigeons. We're moving out. One slow lap to get the engines warm and settle down for a flying start. Richard Petty changes places with Buddy Baker. Petty, the fastest qualifier, has the right to pick either inside or outside starting position. Because of the banking, the outside position's a shade better. We're moving through the first turn. It's high bank, so there's room for two fast cars to race side by side. In the second row are G.C. Spencer in a Petty engineered Plymouth, number 42. Next to him is Sam McQuagg in Dodge, number 6. Donnie Ellison's number 12 Ford is outside row 3. And on the inside is Paul Goldsmith, Plymouth number 99. Dick Hutcherson and Leroy Yarborough are in the 4th row. Off the second turn, down the backstretch of this 1 3/8 track, heading for turn 3. At racing speed, there's only room for one car through here. If you slide just a little, you bounce off that guardrail, and that's a thrill, let me tell you. They call Darlington the driver's track for just that reason. Any of us would be proud to win here. Round in turn 4, heading for the starting line and the green flag. Steady now. Here we go! Buddy Baker and Richard Petty duel for position 1, slapping fenders at 140 miles an hour. Buddy Baker takes the lead. Petty's in trouble. Woo-wee! Hate to think what might have happened. Baker showing us the way. Richard Petty second. Sam McQuagg nails down 3rd spot. Baker and Petty are moving away, setting new track records. There's a blown engine. Cale Yarborough's Ford is out of the race. The fella gets himself charged up for 500 miles and runs 1.5 miles. That sure hurts. The front runners are setting a 142-mile-an-hour pace. G.C. Spencer's running 4th. Richard's moving up on Buddy Baker. They're catching up with the tail enders. Through the 3rd and 4th turn, it's single file. Richard drops back a little. then punches the throttle, trying to slingshot past Buddy Baker as they hit the front stretch. They're wheel to wheel. Richard's got it. Petty takes the lead. Dave Pearson's number 17 Ford challenges Spencer's Plymouth for 4th place. Pearson is charged to the front from 12th starting position. On the backstretch, Pearson takes 4th. Buddy Baker is in the pits long before a scheduled pit stop. Something's wrong. Baker wouldn't give up second spot unless he had to. Baker's crew is changing the right front tire. It was cut by some pieces of metal on the track. This pit stop takes the pressure off Richard Petty. First Cale Yarborough out. Now Buddy's a lap off the pace. There's trouble. Tiny Lund's engine lets go. He's trying to move out of the way, but we've got to slow down together or we'll pile into one another. Lund's in the clear. Oop! Darrell Derringer crunches it. Derringer was trying to slip past the traffic, but all he got for his trouble is a busted hood. Tiny Lund is out of the race. And there's Darrell making a pit stop to see if he did any damage. In a race like this, one unscheduled pit stop and forget about going home winners. There's a car into the pit wall. It's Sam McQuagg. The fans are on their feet yelling, "Get out, Sam! Get out, Sam!" Dick Hutcherson's car tangled with McQuagg's and then slid down into the first turn. Hutcherson drives it off the racetrack. Yellow flags are flying in every direction. McQuagg is out of his car. He looks to be all in one piece. In all my days of racing, I never saw anything like that crash. He's collapsed. I guess the shock is just now catching up with him. Hutcherson's out of his car and seems to be all right. He says that he was tapped on the rear bumper by McQuagg's car. Hutcherson was knocked out of control, and McQuagg slid into the wall at better than 140 miles an hour. McQuagg punched right through 8 inches of reinforced concrete. Now you know what roll bars, seat belts, and welded reinforcements can do for you. Just save your life, that's all. A $15,000 race car is worth about $100 now. The track's clear. The safety car pulls over, and we're restarted under the green flag. Richard Petty comes steaming back after a pit stop for fuel and tires. He's got a lap lead on most of us. Now he's putting a lap on Darrell Derringer. Buddy Baker, running fit, chases Petty a little too hard. Dave Pearson's number 17 is in second position with Donnie Allison's Ford right on his bumper in third spot. There's a car spinning. Frank Warren loses it in the third turn and almost backs into heavy traffic. Warren keeps his head and steers out of trouble. Bobby Allison, driving number 2 Chevelle, trails smoke out of his blown engine. Bobby was running fine, getting top fuel economy from a small engine and good handling from his lightweight chassis. Well, maybe next year. Mission 1. Look out! Buddy Baker crashes into H.P. Bailey's spinning car. And that's the end of the line for this hard charger. Baker's a little dazed, I guess. A crash like that'll rattle your hind teeth. Elmo Langley, sideswiped by Baker's car, limps to the pits. Amazing that thing will still run. Looks like there's going to be some work for Baker's mechanics and for Bailey's crew. Track's clear again. 29 cars still racing, but Petty's in command. Challengers like Hutcherson, McQuagg, Baker, Yarborough, and Derringer have all run into trouble, and Petty's been able to drive his own race. It's not over yet. Petty's led the Southern 500 twice and lost the race in the last 10 miles both times. That's probably what his brother Maurice is thinking right now, wondering if there's anything he forgot to do. Petty keeps his foot in it. If everything's running good at 140, there's no reason to slow down. Funny thing about racing, you slow down a mile or two and the car handles different. Your rhythm changes. Before you know it, you got yourself in trouble. Best to run flat out. Petty puts another lap on Derringer. And on Donnie Allison, now running second. Another car bounces off the wall. That's Paul Goldsmith's number 99. Goldsmith's down out of the groove and out of the race. Another strong car that Petty won't be worrying about. There's Richard now, easing down the pit road. His brother signals him to keep away from the fence. They're going to change all 4 tires on this pit stop. Now you'll see how a first-class crew operates. Eight seconds after he stopped, the rack side is up and both tires off. Gas is pouring in from 10-gallon cans while Richard sits there calm as you please. In 20 seconds, the outside tires are changed. They drop the jack and go to work on the inside. 25 seconds. The gas tank is full and overflows through a special vent where taillights used to be. Only 5 men are allowed over the pit wall. 35 seconds. Now, clean the windshield and drop the jack. Go! 4 tires and 20 gallons of gas in 42 seconds. I bet you fellas forgot to give him trading stamps. Petty rolls out, still in the lead. Donnie Allison's Ford is less than a lap behind now. He can still make a race of it. The car slides in turn 1. And there's another driver getting a Darlington education. Somebody dropped oil in that first turn. There's the caution flag. We'll slow down until they get that oil dried off. Dave Pearson's Ford is in the pit, and Pearson is out of the car. Cale Yarborough's going in as a relief driver. Pearson's got something in his eye. Cale Yarborough's been watching this race like a caged tiger since his car went out on the 3rd lap. He's gonna be flying. As Yarborough gets away from the pit wall, Donnie Allison's Ford coasts in with a dead engine. Donnie was the best hope of the Ford team. He'd been closer to Petty longer than any other driver, but there's something wrong now. It's written all over Donnie's face. Hood's up. A battery's being changed. That's going to take some time. Guess Allison's another driver Petty won't be worried about. Richard's flying, setting new records as he goes. He's got that car balanced so well he can pass just about anywhere, except on that flat 3rd turn where we run up against the guardrail. Richard's able to run down the front straightaway inches from the wall. It takes a car that's handling perfect and a lot of concentration. Remember, he's made about 1,000 left turns this afternoon, and you get only one mistake at Darlington. When Richard goes out of sight up the backstretch, his pit crew turn to watch their other car, driven by G.C. Spencer. Spencer moved into 2nd position on Allison's long pit stop, but he's being challenged by Cale Yarborough driving Pearson's Ford. Look at that battle for 2nd place. Yarborough really wants position 2 just in case Petty's car breaks down. Cale Yarborough takes over 2nd. Spencer has a little trouble keeping between the fences. Jim Pascal's Plymouth is in the pits. Looks like he's out for good. Pascal's been driving this track 18 years but never won. He was running 4th. Car spinning. Jack Harden takes the 3rd turn backwards. Hardin was a rookie, but he's one of us veterans now. With cars breaking down or spinning 5 miles from the checkered flag, you can bet Petty's crew is still worried. Grease, clicking off the laps and looking for that white flag. Here he comes into the front stretch. And there's the flag that means 1 lap to go. Petty's still running full throttle, passing them where he finds them. Halfway up the backstretch, he can coast home from here. The Petty crew and everybody along the pit walls holding their breath. Here he comes. Richard Petty wins the Southern 500. There's the checkered flag for Cale Yarborough in second place, and Spencer, Petty's teammate, in third. Petty won going away. His margin of 5 laps is a Southern 500 record. He's rolling to the winner's circle with an average speed for 500 miles of 130.4 miles an hour, breaking the record set in an accident-free race back in 1963. Richard's congratulated by Raceway President Barney Wallace. Although Petty's won more than half of all the races he's entered this year, he said, "I'd rather win this race than any other I've ever won." That's the way we drivers feel about the Southern 500. Petty won almost $27,000 this afternoon to bring his year's winnings to more than $110,000. That's pretty fair for a 30-year-old country boy from North Carolina. Richard Petty is the first man in Darlington's history to win both the Rebel 400 and the Southern 500 in the same year. I'm ready to bet that nobody will ever do that again. The Petty family has been trying to win this race for 18 years. Papa Lee won more than 50 races, but never won the Southern 500. And it's taken Richard 9 years to do it. You can see that winning means a lot to Richard's wife, Linda. The Pettys have 4 youngsters who are real proud of their daddy. Also in the winner's circle is driver Bud Moore. Barney Wallace presents him with the Bob Colvin Little Guy Award, given to the driver who made the best showing without factory support. Moore finished in 5th place. Best news of all is that Sam McQuagg is unhurt. Worst injury to anybody was Buddy Baker's cut lip. I hope you folks are just as safe driving home in Labor Day traffic. I know I'm going to be real cautious. Like I said, we were beat real bad. And I've had all I want of this track for 1 year. But I've got a score to settle.